It seems sometimes we must have unrealistic expectations or unfounded expectations and even the wrong expectations. In the novel Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, there is extreme imagery, poverty, greed, imprisonment, and chains, along with fights to the death. And no one ever questions any of these realities in life, past or present. Great Expectations also has a colorful cast of characters, including the eccentric Miss Havisham, the beautiful but cold Estella, and Joe, the unsophisticated and kind blacksmith. Dickens' themes include wealth, poverty, love, and rejection, and the eventual triumph of good over evil. All this sounds about right, but in our time, I think many of us are wondering what happened to the triumph of good over evil part. Welcome to Conservative Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. Each week, we take a look at a topic, candidate, or issue and discuss it for better understanding. We've been reminded more than once that we don't really know what we're talking about. And that is telling, isn't it? Because we're all part of a process, narrative, and experience, but few of us understand all the moving parts involved in politics, power, and the corruption of it all. Part of that has to do with our great expectations. And what is our great expectation? I think for many of us, we would say it's the Constitution, the concept that freedom is enshrined in the Constitution for everyone. To rail against the Constitution as the cause of social ills and to subvert the Constitution to accomplish some greater public good is essentially railing against life itself, which ironically is exactly what that is. Yet many in this country, at least on paper, have bought into this narrative. And why is that? Why do we keep voting for the same party hacks that seem to be working actively against us? On a recent Conservative Coffee Hour call, candidate Nicole Drury suggested it's because of Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological response. It occurs when hostages or victims of abuse bond with their captors or abusers and begin to sympathize with their captors. This is the opposite of fear, terror, and disdain that might be expected from the victims in these situations. People suffering from Stockholm Syndrome begin to fear the police and authorities and anyone who might be trying to help them escape. We've all been in a situation at work, in a relationship, and at home. It's not working. Yet we keep doing the same thing, hoping that something will change for the better. But it never does. Yet we keep repeating the same behavior, action, and voting pattern. The main characters in Great Expectation, Pip, is unaware of his benefactor and the entire premise of his life and who he is actually really dealing with. He is completely naive and unaware, a hapless soul, in a drama of other characters, some of whom go up in flames and some cross over into insanity. Yet Pip does prevail by providence alone. And that is how he's able to succeed. Our most unrealistic expectation is that we're going to be able to get ourselves out of this terrible mess. Instead, we probably need to pray for divine intervention. We don't have an unrealistic expectation. We have the expectation of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's truly a great expectation. It's the greatest expectation we can expect in this lifetime. And if anyone tells you differently, whether it's a voter, another voter, a politician, a clergy member, or a newscaster, please run, don't walk to the nearest exit. This Saturday, we will be talking about Elon Musk, abortion, and the gross domestic product, and how these narratives are going to be affecting the June primary elections here in Illinois and the national elections in November. If you would like an invitation to Conservative Coffee Hour, I will include my email in the description of this video, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.